One. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hungry People Podcast. It is your boy, Michael Patrick Buckley, and I have an extremely awesome and special guest here with you guys today, Alex Ludell. I met Alex through Instagram, and he's been such an inspiring and motivating person for me. He's extremely into calisthenics, and it's just been so awesome being able to connect with him online and really see his passions and what he's all about. So, Alex, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Great, dude. Great. It's really awesome to be able to have you on and talk with you about a lot of this stuff. It's been such a passion of mine for about 3 or 4 years, and it's just so awesome to be able to connect with like-minded people who are passionate about certain areas of health and fitness. So it's really great to be able to talk to you today.
I feel that. I feel like you and I connect and like we agree on a lot of the same ideas with like health and fitness.
Totally.
So it's cool to see like a like-minded person. And then on top of that, I'm just like super hyped to be on the podcast, making a podcast debut.
Yeah, totally. For sure. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, I think you mentioned that this is the first one you're on, and I hope that you're able to get your message out there to many other people as well. So cool. Yeah, let's just start from the beginning here. Where are you from, and what do you do for work or whatnot? If you want to talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I live in Connecticut. I'm actually a 5th grade teacher.
Nice.
So
dude.
My day job. But then on top of that, just like love all sorts of health and fitness stuff.
Yeah.
Always got to make sure I get a morning workout in before I go to work, energize myself before I deal with some of the kids and I have all the things that like a teacher might have to deal with for the day. But I feel like it just, you know, gives me an extra layer of energy. I feel like I'm ready for the day. I feel like it would be so tough sometimes rolling out of bed. And then I'm like at school with like kids an hour later. I feel like I got to wake up beforehand, but you know, that's kind of like what I do. That's typically how my day goes. But yeah, 5th grade teacher, absolutely love it.
Dude, that's great.
It's such a great job. And it's great that I'm passionate about it. I just like love being in the classroom, working with kids. 5th grade's a great age.
Nice.
Seeing them off as they go on to middle school. Yeah. So yeah, I love it.
Well, you know, it's funny. I actually coach youth baseball, and I think 5th grade is like 10 and 11-year-olds or around that age. And dude, it's like, I feel like that's like the starting point. So where they're really starting to like get a hold of life and really learn, and they can like learn to even compete, especially on the baseball field. Like it's actually, even though they're 11 years old, it's actually competitive. And
yeah, they're starting to find out like who they are at that point.
Yeah. Right. So that's really cool to hear. Did you go to, I'm assuming you went to college too?
Yeah, I went up to Ithaca College.
Ithaca, okay.
Yeah.
That's a Division III college, correct? I think so, at least.
Yeah, and I played baseball up there too for a little bit.
Oh, wait, did you really?
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I played baseball up there for 3 years.
Dude, I played baseball in college as well.
I know, I've seen you post the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played. They had like a varsity JV team, and I was like up and back and forth between varsity, especially my sophomore year. Yeah. Then, long story short, I was like up there. I was playing really well on varsity, like right before the season. We were gonna go to LA for the spring trip, and they sent me down right before. So I was super bummed.
Oh man.
Came back, and maybe like a week after, they were gonna call me up, and they were like, because I don't know if whatever it was, they weren't playing great. I don't know if outfielders weren't like hitting that well. So
right.
They wanted to call me up, and then I think it was a Thursday game. And then I was scheduled to play in a JV game on Tuesday, and I was at like BP with them Tuesday, maybe like morning, had the game that night. Went to get out of a pitch that was coming at my head. I was wearing spikes on turf. And when I got out of the way, my ankle must have just like buckled underneath me, and I got caught, and I got a high ankle sprain. And you know, the college season's so quick and short because it's got like however many games, like 40 games packed into 6 or 7 weeks. So me missing 5 weeks, they're basically like gearing up for conference championships at that point. And you know, they have their lineup set. It was a done deal. Get back junior year, they recruited these 2 stud freshman outfielders who I was just like, I got shot.
Right.
But I mean, it was a good run, and I love it. I still love it.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah, I didn't know that at all. I actually I played in a summer baseball league up in New York. I played for a town called Sherrill, the Sherrill Silversmiths. I'm not sure if they're even around
Was it the NYCBL?
Yeah, it was, because we played in Ithaca, I think, a game or two.
I knew I feel like every year there's because there are a lot of kids from upstate New York who went to Ithaca.
Okay.
And then a lot of them, when they go home for the summer, a lot of them like went and played on NYCBL teams.
Okay, nice. Honestly, I thought it was pretty good competition. I know there were more like D2 and D3 kids, but I mean, for the most part, it was pretty competitive. And there were some D1 guys from smaller colleges up that way, but
just even seeing some of the guys that, our JV team, we faced a lot of junior college teams. Like I know one of them was like Onondaga Community College.
Yeah. We actually played
Syracuse.
there. We played there.
Yeah, I know there's a
nice
summer.
field.
I think it's I don't know. Are they the Syracuse Chiefs? The NYCBL team?
I think so. I think that's what it is. Yeah. The Chiefs.
They play there. But I know like OCC, they were like one of the better junior college teams. And I remember a kid, I met him from OCC and he was like, yeah, we had a lot of guys like, year after year, either go D1, D2, right. And they like kind of go there from that area to just get a little bit of extra exposure and then go on and play at a higher level. And I remember facing some of these kids and I was like, this is a good team for like what we're facing right now. Like these guys are legit. And then, we faced some other junior colleges who are kind of like, not great. So we got like a whole mix, but there's just a lot of good competition, especially up there.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like with the junior colleges, it's definitely like hit or miss sometimes with some of the players and competition. But I mean, for the most part, like you see some pretty good teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. That's awesome, dude. Like, look at that. Now it's now even more similarities. That's
one
like
more thing.
Yeah, right. That's really cool to hear. So yeah, cool, awesome. Now I know you mentioned that you get up every morning to go to the gym, or not to go to the gym, but like to work out and whatnot. Now is that is that every morning, every single day that you do that?
Yeah, there were times where I was like, all right, I'm gonna take an off day or whatever, and I would I usually have to be at work by like 8:50. I have to be there 8:30. I usually get there by like 8 or 8:15. And there were days where I'd be like, I'm gonna sleep in, get up at like 6:45 or 7, and I just like didn't feel the same those days. Not always in a bad way. Like it was always great to get a little bit extra recovery, get some extra sleep. But there were some days where I was like, I just don't feel like I just feel off. And then, I started figuring out, I was like, man, just those days where I get some movement. And I was like, even if I'm just like so beat up, if I get up an extra half hour before and just get like a little light movement, if whether I like go on the bike for 20 minutes or just do some light stretching, I just feel like, I don't know, it's like a mental thing that I've gotten something done, or whether it's just moving the body and I just feel a little bit more awake. Like I said, just like being able to deal with everything that kind of comes my way as a teacher, it's just been so helpful. So not every day necessarily is like me going like super hard, just jacking out as many push-ups, pull-ups, as dips as I can. Like I got to mix it up and I got to work in recovery and whatnot. But every day I'm usually up early, getting something in, doing something, moving, getting myself ready for the day. And that's how I personally just feel like so grounded and so ready to go ahead and like face the rest of the day. Like I've already gotten one thing done. One of the harder things I'm going to do throughout the day. It's like, now I can move on. Now I can focus. Now I've got the rest of my day ahead of me.
Nice, dude. That's really cool to hear. Now, is there no one out there who like sort of motivates you to keep you up with that? Or is that just all yourself? Like, you want that, you want to get up, you want to move your body, you want to keep going, just cause I feel like a lot of times with most people, well, not most people, with some people, it's like, they just don't have that in them. And that's why I was curious. Like, it seems like it's just instilled in you. It seems like, you know what, I actually want this. I want to move my body. I want to feel good. I want to have the energy to be the best, so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of that is on me. Like I love calisthenics and I've started competing in it over the past few years. And I'm like, if I don't, if I'm not working, I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to place higher in these competitions. So, being a teacher and working sometimes 10 hours a day, like I got to find time before or after. And, there's always struggles after work where, something pops up, you're not gonna be able to go work out. But like that time, if I wake up at 4 or 4:30, that time, like 4:30 to 6:30, that's like my time. I rarely get interrupted during that time. So I know that that's always going to be consistent. So a lot of that's on me to like, want to go out there, want to do better, want to work out, want to improve. But, getting up that early and seeing consistently, like my dad, from as long as I can remember, he's been a triathlete. I think he like just recently stopped competing, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, when he's 56 now, going to be 57 in June. But,
Oh, wow.
from the time I remember, like before elementary school, I remember him just like, I'd be up. I was always an early riser too.
Mhm.
I'd be up at like 5 something and like 6 something rolls around. He like comes back from a bike ride, comes back from a swim. But he's been doing this. He's been doing this since the time like I was 4, and he still does it. Like I
Oh
moved
my
back home.
gosh.
So I moved back home. My fiance and I moved back home after moving out of the house.
Yeah.
So I'm like back, and I'm up, and I see him almost every morning. Like
Yeah.
still getting after it, still going for runs. When it's warmer out, he's obviously doing the bikes and the swims, working out in our little like mini gym area that we have set up in our basement.
Nice,
But
dude.
but he's been doing that so consistently, and I saw the success that it led to with him. And I was like, listen, if you really want to get your workout in, and you really are passionate about something, like the way he was passionate about that stuff, I was like, I can go out there and I can do it. And I'm like,
Nice.
there's no excuses. Like, yeah, there's going to be some days where, who knows, it might be a super late night at work. And I'm like, all right, I just got to sleep. I got to get the extra hour of sleep in tonight.
Right.
That might come every so often, but for the most part, I can get up that early. I can get my stuff in as long as I'm disciplined the night before and get to bed at a certain time where it's not going to be like I'm running off 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing is that I've noticed with myself is, I mean, like you can function on 4 hours of sleep. You can function off 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, like that little sleep. But I mean, to do that, to get that little sleep up like 3-4 times a week, it's just completely not sustainable. And most people, they just like, they're doing that. They're just downing energy drinks, downing coffee. And I feel like it's just creating more issues down the road, and that's why I feel like that sleep is so crucial.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I'm above 6 hours, I actually feel pretty good. Once I hit above 7, I'm like, it's a game changer.
Yeah. Right.
But like you're saying, the functioning thing, I was like, I can function. I'd rather get more because I feel better.
Right.
And it's all about that. I feel like it's that discipline, like that evening before, because there's some days where I've gotten home and I'm like, oh, I got home early. I'm like, I'm going to be able to get to bed early. And then who knows what happens? Like sometimes I eat dinner, just hang out. And then I was like, where'd the time go? I was like, I still got to like iron my clothes, make my lunch. I was like, man. And every once in a while, I'm like, it's fine if I get like, if I got to get 5 hours of sleep, I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, it's gonna be one day, but it's like when it creeps up over a span of a few days, I was like, I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
So
totally.
that's when I really try to prioritize. It's like a whole balancing act. Like it's so hard to be able to like do everything that you need to do in a day.
Right.
Get 8 hours of sleep plus, especially working like a busy job. It can be tough sometimes. Like there's times where I'm able to do it, but overall it's tough. So I mean, I'm happy getting like 7 hours of sleep. I still feel good. Like I'm not really getting tired throughout the day.
Nice.
I'm like alert throughout the day. I've got time for my workouts. I'm alert when I get home. I'm not like really feeling like bugged down and tired until like maybe like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. So I mean, feel good. So I'm gonna keep it up. I'm making progress. So
nice.
Everything's working out.
Hell yeah,
in that area.
Well, hey, keep it up,
So
dude. Keep it up.
Keep it going.
Yeah, totally. But I can also imagine too that even if like you do get some lack of sleep, that could possibly affect your results in the gym or on the bar and whatnot. So I feel like getting as much recovery and as much rest and being able to like refuel overnight is definitely crucial. So
yeah, definitely. I know like with the lack of sleep, I've noticed if I have like a bad night of sleep, it doesn't necessarily affect me like the next day.
Yeah.
But it's like when it comes out over a span of like a few days, and it's like, there's been like 4 or 5 days where I haven't slept well or slept a lot. I'm like, then I really start seeing it. I'm like, wow, I'm feeling sluggish. But if it's like one day, you've been sleeping well, you get one bad night of sleep, or you sleep for like 4 hours one night. It's like I don't feel it the next day really. Yeah. But then it's like, bounce back, recover. But it's when you're doing that over such a long period of time, I feel like that's when you start to see like those negative effects.
Totally. I want to bring up something about like you said that your dad, like he's been doing this for years and whatnot every day. My podcast co-host AJ, he would probably agree with me saying that it's probably in your genes that you guys are like that. That you guys like get up and get after it. And like I was saying earlier, it's probably just instilled in you.
Dude, I mean, I gotta say that like I gotta say that gene aspect is probably there, that like to be able to like get up and go work hard.
Right.
I know like my dad's dad, my grandpa, like I know he's up every day, 4:30. He's not necessarily like he's not going to the gym, but I know he's just like up. He's just like up, ready for the day.
Right. That's impressive.
Dad's ready for the day, same thing, up and working out. And then I know like my mom, even though she's like a late sleeper,
Yeah.
but like same thing, tail end of the day, but like still puts in like so much hard work.
Nice.
And like I've seen that since the time I was a little kid, whether it's working like super hard job, dealing with me and my brother, who I'm sure were like a handful, and then my sister as well. But just like, when she was staying home with the three of us, I was like, it's like, dude, we must have given her a run for her money some days.
Right, it's
but,
a lot. It's a lot.
How hard she's worked. I've seen how hard she's worked, and even her in the gym, I see how hard she pushes herself. So I would say that, like, I've got that level of, whether it's genetics or whether it's just like growing up seeing, like every day you gotta like get up and just like put your effort in. Like I never really saw them go ahead and just be lazy for an extended period of time and just sit there and eat junk or lounge around. Like I always saw, even on like holiday breaks or vacations, like they were always doing something. They were always just working hard. And I just, it's like, it's what I grew up seeing. It's what I'm accustomed to. It's just normal to me, where other people see that and they're like, you get up at what time to go do what?
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, for me, I was like that. It's like, that's just like what you do. It's like brushing your teeth. It's just what you do.
Dude, I love that. I freaking love that, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, let's dive into some of this calisthenic stuff here. So when did you first get into it?
So you and I were talking about baseball. So I know my senior year was my first year. I was not playing baseball.
Okay.
College. And, I was going to the gym doing like the normal stuff.
Right.
But like I wasn't feeling energized about it. Like playing baseball, I was feeling excited about it because I'm going in there, I'm getting stronger for baseball. But then I was going into the gym and just, I don't know, like I think at that point, like my biggest motivating factor was like looking good. And that wasn't like really like a huge motivating factor. Like I was going there and I was doing like different machines and the bench press, and I was seeing results, but I wasn't like excited to go in. I was kind of feeling like it was just like flat and dull. So it was finals week, my senior year, my first semester, fall semester of senior year. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to go to the gym today. I'm like, I got so much studying to do. And then I remember hearing about Herschel Walker, the football player.
Yeah.
And his regimen, he was like, this was back in like the 70s and 80s. And he was like, I know he came out of Georgia. So he had like no equipment around him growing up as a kid. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to be big and strong. He's like, I grew up a chubby kid and I wanted to be big and strong, but I had no equipment. So I just started doing like push-ups in between commercials, sit-ups in between commercials, to the point where he's like jacking out like thousands of push-ups, thousands of sit-ups. Then he starts working like pull-ups, and like squats, and he's running sprints around like his house. And he's doing this like up through high school. And like, this is what he did when he was playing at the University of Georgia and then into the NFL. Yeah. I was like, hey man, if he can do, and like he ended up going on to, after football, I think during his career, he was on like a 2-man bobsled team that went to the Olympics. Then he ended up fighting, I think, MMA, not like he wasn't in the UFC, but he fought in this one league. I don't know if it's still around, the Strike Force at like 50. But I was like, this guy is like, this guy looks like he's still like 28, shredded, can still do all the same stuff he claims to do when he was like back in the NFL. I was like, there's got to be something to this body weight. So I started doing like, I think that day I probably wasted the time I could have gone to the gym with anyways by like reading articles on him for like 2 hours, and ended up I think I did like 400 push-ups that day just throughout the day. Oh my gosh. I was studying, banging out 25 push-ups, studying, banging out 25 push-ups. And same with sit-ups. And I remember the next day I felt so sore, but I was so excited about it and so pumped. And I was like, man, this was like fun. Like there was just like a different aspect to it, just being able to like get down and bang out push-ups and sit-ups. So I started doing that. And then I kind of like, went back to the weights for a bit, but I think it was like February, my senior year of college, I like just full on stuck with calisthenics, and it's been that ever since.
Yeah. Nice.
And I don't know. I love the aspect of being able to do all these crazy things with your body, so that like, even though I could, reach a certain strength goal on like bench press or squat, like I can do like pistol squats, or I can do like X amount of push-ups, or all these different variations of push-ups. And then like getting into handstand push-ups, like that's so cool to me as being able to control your body weight in that manner.
Dude, the handstand push-ups are something else, dude. I'm not sure. I mean, it'd be so cool to do one. I'm not sure if I'll get there, but I mean, that's top tier for sure.
I got to it. I think I got 2 at one point, but then I stopped training them for a while. And then I've actually recently started to try and get them back. And I'm like, I've got a little bit of that strength, but I got to work back to it again.
Right. Well, dude, I feel like it's so tough though, working all of it in. It's like, if you want to work on handstand push-ups, I feel like that also takes back from other exercises too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of it can be so tough, but it's really like you got to focus on your goals. You know, you got to focus on what you actually want with it. So
yeah, there's a lot that you can do with, I remember when I was in the beginning, I was trying to like do it all. I was like, there was like front levers where you know, hold yourself basically parallel to the ground when you're holding off a bar. And you got planches and handstand push-ups, one arm push-ups. And then there was like at the time, and you know, I mean, it's still around, like freestyle calisthenics. I was like, wow, all this stuff is crazy. I'm going to try and do all of it. I remember trying to do all of it. I was like, this is too much. And, you know, a lot of guys are just like, just stick to the basics, just stick to the basics.
right.
And over time, you're just going to develop that strength. And you can always like start working on those moves, but, you know, get strong enough to work on those moves. Then you can like start adding them in. But like you said, there was just so much. And, you know, once I finally started focusing on the basics and just simplify my training is when I felt like I really started to get strong.
Nice.
Like I started being able to hold, not great, but I started being able to hold like little front levers for like 5 seconds. And I was like, I haven't trained that. I was like, but my back just got strong from doing pull-ups and weighted pull-ups and whatnot. And then I remember my handstand push-up was somewhat close. And I was like, that's probably because I was just like, I got so strong doing like dips and push-ups and weighted dips. And then, you know, you start working on the move to get better at the specific move. But I mean, it's just like those just drilling the basics for these past like 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years now. I feel like it's just gotten me to such a different place, strength wise and endurance wise.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool. And like building up that foundation is definitely crucial. And I would say that most calisthenics influencers out there, I think they would say that as well. Like, hey, you really like, I even heard people be like, hey, if you want to do a muscle up, like you got to be able to at least do 15 pull-ups first, you know, like don't even start a muscle up until you can get 15 pull-ups or 20 pull-ups. So I actually really commend those guys to actually like setting the foundation for your body and for your strength with calisthenics. And then you can go to more advanced movements. And it's funny because I even feel like myself, I'm still like at the foundation level, even though I've been doing it for a while. But dude, like I've had like so many setbacks. I took like 3 months off from the gym, and then I had to like completely restart over. It's like way too long of a story. I mean, but anyways, yeah, that's like really, really cool to hear. Now, aside from like Herschel Walker, was there anyone else like in the calisthenics community who you really like learned from to trying to get a better understanding of like maybe programs or training routines that you wanted to go through?
When I first started like seeing things on, I like figured out there's like a whole calisthenics community. I was like, what are you? Because I you know, I'd finished finals. I started like looking it up on Instagram like during my winter break, and I was like, hold up. I was like, there's like a whole like group of people who just like do this for training. And I was like, these guys are also insanely strong, stronger than any of the guys I really see in the gym. I was like, I'm like, there's got to be something to this. So the two first guys I saw, this guy, his name is Hit Richards. I think he's out of New York. And I think his Instagram channel is called Calisthenics Kings. And then I saw this other guy, his name's called Hannibal for King on Instagram. And he's like one of the most famous guys who really, I think like got it out there through like the internet. I know he posted I think he said he posted a video of just him doing different workouts, or maybe he was doing like a flag. And this is early on in the YouTube days where people really hadn't seen that unless you saw someone do it in person. So that started blowing up. So I know they're both super popular, but you know, I see them doing all these different moves. And one of their big things is just like, they're always doing the basics.
Right.
So thinking about programming, I saw like these different moves that these guys are doing, like whether it's pull-ups or maybe it's an L-sit dips. I just saw all these different moves that they're doing. And I remember just hearing them talk about it. I know like he fought for a programming where he had like more of a split. And then I think Hannibal, I know he talks about, he's like, I don't really follow a split. He's like, I would just kind of go out there and train, whether it's once, twice a day, 3 times a day. He's like, I'm just going out there and train. He's like, I like just like hitting the workouts and, you know, hitting the muscle groups. He's like, whenever I can. He's like, I just feel good. And he's super explosive and super strong. They both are. So, you know, I've messed around today. There's times where I've done more like strict where I'm like, you know, like a chest day or a push day or a pull day.
Right.
But I feel like I've kind of found my groove now, you know, and I think, I think it's hard to just do everything every day, but
Yeah,
I
totally.
think I've noticed some of these routines I can throw in like pull-ups, push-ups, and dips, and I can do those over the span of 2 or 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
especially if I'm not like fully taxing my body and just using my body weight. And I've noticed that has almost helped my endurance more than just doing like just dips one day, then
Right.
taking like 3 days off and then doing just dips again.
Right.
So, and I think it's all about what works for everybody else too. Their body, and then their schedule, what they enjoy, what they're passionate about too. Because I feel like that's where you're going to see the most results.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like with calisthenics, I mean, depending on how many reps you're doing and how much you're fatiguing your body, I do believe that you can recover faster from just doing pull-ups, push-ups, dips, whatever else, compared to something like benching or squatting or deadlifting. Like you're going to need much more time to recover than doing simple exercises like I just mentioned. So yeah, cool. Actually, well, do you want us why don't you take us through maybe like a sample training week that you go through, or workout week, so you wake up early Monday morning. Like I even remember talking to you like in the summer that you like to bike too. So like you're biking 20 miles and then coming back and putting in reps too.
Yeah.
So like you want to take us through or even like a sample of 3 days of what you like to do for training.
So a typical day, I
Like a rep
think,
day. I think a rep day you were
yeah, I
going to
was going
mention.
off like a rep day. So,
Yeah.
I'll get up 4:30, whatever. Um, Usually have like a bar set up outside.
Mm-hmm.
So set some stuff up. So like, I will get a warm up in, whether it's like, I start doing some dynamic movements. Then I do maybe like 3 sets of like 10 pull-ups and 20 dips or 20 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Just get the blood flowing, get some movement in for like 10 minutes. And then I get into a workout. So like a workout might be like, I might try and hit like 30 seconds of dips, 30 seconds of pulls, 30 seconds of push.
Nice.
And I might try and go for like rounds of that. Or maybe I set like a set number of reps that I'm gonna do. Like, all right, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups. I'm gonna do 20 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, 20 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, something like that.
Nice.
Or, there's so many different ways that I break it down, or maybe I add weight to it. And I do these different routines, and I usually time myself and see how long it takes,
Mm-hmm.
or see how many reps I can get in a certain amount of time. And I feel like I'll usually, when I do reps like that, I'll usually go for like an hour, maybe a little bit more sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Weekends, I'll probably go for like an hour and a half usually. But that's usually like a rep workout where I'm just trying to get different sorts of reps and trying to see how much I can do, especially getting ready for these competitions,
Right.
seeing how many reps I can get in 30 seconds, how many reps I can get into a minute, and just seeing those numbers over time and how they can compare.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that, and that usually goes for like an hour. And then depending on the time I've got, I'll either get like maybe some sort of core work. I'll try and do some dead hangs, work on my grip strength.
Nice.
Or if I've got time, I'll go for like a 30-minute run or ride the stationary bike or something like that. And then, as it gets warmer out, there's a lot more time like where I try and, give myself a morning to go for like a bike ride or a nice run.
Totally.
Especially the bike, because I feel like I don't bike in the winter at all. I just feel like at this point up here, it's just not safe with like
horrible.
the snow and the salt, and you're like, it's just like ruining your bike. I'm like, it's not even worth it. And
Yeah,
it's
totally.
dark. It's dark when I would go in the morning. It's dark when I would come home from work. So, I'm like, I can't win there.
And it's
So
freezing
when it's
out.
nicer out, yeah, you're going to get like frostbite in your face if it's like 30 degrees. Cause now you get this like 20, like the wind chill goes way up, cause you're just like going 20 miles an hour or whatever you're doing.
Right.
So, some mornings, like I will, if I'm not doing reps or I'm doing like light reps that day, I'll get up same time. I'm on the road biking, and I'll usually bike sometimes like anywhere from 40 minutes to like maybe 2 hours if I go on a weekend and I just want to like get like a long ride and I'm not going to really do reps.
Right.
So I do that. I try and ride a few times a week. Same with running. I try and keep up with running.
Nice.
And I've been getting into more swimming over the past couple of years too, which has been a game changer, because I feel like it's such a nice way sometimes. One, it's helped me with my like upper body endurance, especially like repping, because now, I'm fighting that lactic acid in a different way now when I'm in the water, just trying to keep a consistent pace for whether it's 30 minutes, 45 hour.
Right.
But yeah, I always trying to keep up with like endurance stuff too.
Nice, dude.
So if I go for like a longer run or a longer bike, I usually won't do any sort of reps. But if it's a quicker biker run, maybe I come back and maybe I'll do like a little leg workout. Maybe I'll do some core stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I try and consistently like add leg stuff into my workouts too, because I don't want to skimp on that either.
Right.
But my big focus is usually like the big three, like pull-ups, push-ups, dips, because I know that's what like is usually judged in competitions and what I've got to keep up to date with and make sure that like I'm ready to go for competitions. I was going to say something about my cardio too. Like I noticed when going through some of these bigger routines, like the routine that you and I were talking about to get into the gym, I noticed my cardio, that helps so much when it's like a longer routine. Because before, when I would fatigue after like 6-7 minutes and I'm just like trying to get to the end, like I'd hop off the bar, I'd shake out, but like my heart wasn't like just thumping in my chest and I wasn't just like gasping for air. It was like that cardio aspect really helped me to just, get through a hard routine, but be able to like put in that hard effort for a solid 12 minutes.
Right. That's why I feel like the cardio and the running, the biking, and now you say you're swimming. I feel like it's also so crucial. It all goes hand in hand together. And that's why for me, myself, I don't want to just like give up one for the other, like I love being able to do it all. So I give you a lot of credit for working that stuff in and staying true to that. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I also don't want to be somebody who's like, just really good at one discipline. I feel like
totally.
if I was like a professional athlete and I was just like trying to be the best baseball player I could be, that would be like different. But
right.
Now I'm like, I want to be able to like go out there and do some cool strength stuff and go to a calisthenics competition. But at the same time, like it's fun to be able to, like I ran a marathon year and a half ago. Like that stuff's cool too. Being able to go out and do like a big race or a big experience like that. But at the same time, it's fun to just go, like I play before COVID, I played in like a touch football league. It's still fun to like go do that and go have a blast and ball out. Like it's fun to be able to do all those different things. Like, but if I only did push-ups, pull-ups, and dips, like I wouldn't be able to do that stuff at a high level either.
Exactly. Dude, that's so cool. That's awesome. I really love that, dude. I really love that. Now let me ask you this. So you've been doing this for probably like what, 5 years now, you said? Somewhat?
Yeah, I think I want to say like I officially like went full in on calisthenics like February my senior year of college. So that was 2017. So yeah, like 5 years.
Nice, dude. Now, what would you say the biggest step for you was in making like those strides and getting more reps and getting stronger? Was it like obviously like the consistency is huge, like actually staying true to what you're doing and not just taking X amount of time off, like obviously you got to rest and recover, but I just feel like most people aren't consistent. And even for myself, like I haven't been consistent and really get my results. So like, has there been anything for you or actually like, what has it been for you to like really jumps to really get you to the next level? Was it like a certain routine? Was it like motivation within yourself? Like what do you think it is or was?
I'd say like the working out wise, I think a lot of it was like when I was during COVID, I remember I was doing a lot of these routines. I was doing them almost every day, but I was doing like these big rep routines, but I would just do like, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and I would set a timer for like an hour. I was like, let's see how much I can do.
Okay.
But then I realized that like my actual rep numbers, and I feel like my strength wasn't going up too much.
Yeah.
Because, I wasn't actually like doing something that would make my body need to do more pull-ups or push-ups. Right. I was just doing small numbers over and over again. So then, once I started doing these bigger sets and like making sure that like in some of these routines, I'm hitting 20 pull-ups or I'm hitting 40 or 50 push-ups or 50 dips, then I started seeing numbers go up and up and up. And I had to stay consistent with that. And consistently making sure that I'm going to hit big numbers in those areas. That's what's going to help me then get my numbers up. So if like I'm going to hit 20 pull-ups throughout these routines, then my body's going to get more used to doing 20 pull-ups. And then soon I'm going to be able to do like 25, 30, 35. And it's just like continue to go up like that. So that's easily been the biggest thing that's really helped me get my reps up. Like thinking about like a 1 set max, trying to see how many like dips I could do in a set or pull-ups. And then these bigger sets, like I know sometimes these bigger sets that I want to get good at, a lot of the time it was just like going through the set and just like working through the set, seeing what I need to like, where I can shave off time. Same with like other competition routines. Like if I'm going to do a competition where there's a minute of dips, a minute of pull-ups, and a minute of push-ups, sometimes it's going through that routine, or it's like breaking down that routine in different ways to see where I can shave off time. Where can I rest, and how long should I rest for? Right. So that way when I like actually go in there on game day, it's like I have a game plan, I know what I'm going to do, and I know what to expect. So those have been my big things. And like you said, like a lot of it's consistency, but it's knowing what to specifically work. So like if I want to get high reps, I got to do like a high rep set to give my body that stimulus.
Right.
Because I'll never get to like be able to do 50 pull-ups if I just do a bunch of sets of 10 pull-ups. Like I got to eventually go out there and do like 20, 30, 40, 50 like pull-ups in a set to make my body like, you know, react to a certain stimulus. Right. And then same thing with a competition, like, you know, just run the routine through sometimes and see what's going on, what to expect. And sometimes those routines are rough. You don't want to do them when you're by yourself, because I'm huffing and puffing some days, but it's what you got to do.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, that's all really, really cool to hear. And have you ever thought of like, I mean, I guess I would like, would you consider yourself maybe like a seasoned vet almost? And like, would you consider maybe even like coaching people in regards to calisthenics? Like, do you think that you have that ability and capacity? Because clearly you have results, and your results say a lot, you know, even, and I want to talk about it too. Like you joining that team, like that's so cool. So like you have the results, you have the knowledge, you've been there, you've done it. Like, have you ever considered doing something like that?
I've thought about it. So I wouldn't say I'm like a seasoned vet, because there's been guys in the game who've been in the game for like 20 years now. Yeah, not yet. Maybe down the road, but definitely not yet. Like I would say I'm not like a rookie anymore. I feel like I've just passed that like young guy. I don't know if I'm still considered like young. I mean, I'm like 26. I don't know if I'm still young in the game anymore. I know there's guys who are coming up who are like, you know, out of high school and college. So they're 5, 6, 7 years younger than me.
Right.
I've definitely got some experience doing some of these competitions, but I feel like this is a sport that like you can still be super competitive at into like your late 40s and into your 50s. There are guys who are still super strong.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, I still got so much time to go and learn and experience and like get stronger. So I'm like, I feel like I've like done not good enough. I feel like I've done a good amount is what I was trying to say, but I feel like I've got like so much more to go in that sense to like experience and learn. In terms of coaching people, like I think I've got that aspect down of like being able to coach somebody, or like I'm a teacher, so I can teach. I've got that like idea down as to maybe how to like push and motivate certain people. I think I've thought about it before, like whether I want to like open a gym. And actually during the pandemic, I went to try and do my personal training certification, but you know, I was going to do that over the summer. I didn't get enough done over the summer. And then the school year hit, and it was like that first year back from the pandemic. And I just totally like, you know, it was so hard to try and do both. And I ended up just kind of letting it go. But I think down the road, it's something I would want to go back to. Nice. Right now, it's not something I'm like immediately passionate about. Like I still love teaching. I don't plan on leaving the classroom anytime soon. I wouldn't leave until I feel like, you know, that spark kind of dies down. If it ever dies down. But I think it would be cool to train people, to work with people, to kind of teach them what I know. You know, because I think I learned so much from this, and I think it would be great to be able to pass that down to other people, coach them, see what they can do, and how not only just like get competition results, but I think overall just like health and longevity, you know, losing some weight, whether it's becoming able to do things, you know, you're not hurting anymore in your upper body, you're building stronger joints, you're able to go play with your kids or your like different things like that.
Right.
I feel like there's so much that goes into that. So I think definitely down the road, I think I'm gonna end up doing something like that, whether it's just on the side, or if I ever decide to like, you know, go ahead full steam and even try and open a gym.
Yeah. Nice, dude.
But, I kind of want to see like how everything works out, like what I'm passionate about doing. Cause I still love teaching, and I'm going to stay in that as long as like I have that passion. But if I ever start to feel that passion fade, then I know it's time. Like, this is a career where I feel like you can't be in there for the wrong reasons. So
100%.
So I want to kind of see how that goes. But, thinking of that, I know my fiance's pushed me to do it too. She's like, you should just get your certification anyways. Because, like you can do it on the side. You love doing it.
Right.
Like, might as well get it and do it. And then, what if and when that time comes, like, you've got the certification, you've got the experience.
Right.
So I think, down the road in the next couple of years, I think it's something that I'm just going to have to do. Whether I'm working into it, or I can probably do it over one of these summers, but next time I do it, I want to really be like all in and be able to just like go all in, get the certification, and then I can start training people from there. So I don't have everything figured out, but I've got an idea of kind of like where I might want to go with some of this stuff.
Sweet, dude.
But I do think it would be cool to have a gym.
Yeah, no doubt. I think having a gym would be like the best. I mean, you can just, I guess obviously it'd be a lot of work, but I mean, it would definitely be inspiring, and I think even just having that connection to bring people into your gym too is even better. Like, that would just be like so cool. But yeah, like even for myself, I think like the goal would be to like definitely coach people with calisthenics one day. But I mean, I have so much work to do. I don't have the best results. So like, I feel like the results are like the biggest part. If like you can get the results, there's a pretty good chance that you can help other people get those results too. That's just kind of like a sort of my philosophy, or kind of how I think about it.
I think the same way. I see like baseball coaches, like almost all baseball coaches, I think they've all played like Major League Baseball at some point, right?
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard. Some have, yeah.
I think they've all at least played like professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But then I see football coaches, and you have guys who like never played past high school.
Right.
And I was like, it's so weird how you see like such a high level of like baseball coaches who played, and then you got football coaches who, I don't know if it's just like the fact that it's a different game,
right,
or whatnot. But, I feel the same way about calisthenics. I was like, I feel like I want to achieve more before I try and, get clients and push them. Like, I'd rather learn more about myself and just overall just like learn more about working out and fitness and the body before I go ahead and start training people. So that's kind of like where I'm conflicted too, because I think it would be really cool. And if it was like my full-time job one day, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be badass, dude. That'd be totally badass. And technically speaking, you're still would be teaching people, so you're still in that realm of teaching. But yeah, even with your football and baseball example there, I feel like with football, you definitely see it more to where there is a better possibility of not playing, but being able to coach. But for baseball, I feel like you sort of have to play and be there to like actually coach baseball. I know. I feel like it'd be much more difficult to coach baseball and not playing. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that do it, but I don't know.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it just makes sense to me. Like, you've seen the game, or you know what's going to go on. Like, then you can finally like go on and teach people. But I feel like if you haven't like actually played the game, even football, like I never played football, so I'm sure like there's a totally different understanding of just like understanding the game and play calling and different sorts of situations that I just don't understand. But I know like baseball, I'm like, how can you teach a guy to swing and hit a curveball if like you've never actually stood up there and like hit a curveball yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Or, how are you going to teach guys to field a ground ball and turn a double play if you've never actually like been out in the field doing that yourself?
Right.
Just things like that. And it's like I kind of want to know as much as I can about calisthenics before I tell someone like what the best way to do pull-ups and push-ups is.
Right. Yeah. That's extremely well said, dude. That's extremely well said. And I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. That's why like I really want to get those results and actually get there before I'm teaching or coaching whatnot. Cool. Hey, I have two more questions here that I want to ask. The first is about you and that training routine that you went through to get into that gym. I really like want to hear about that and your experience with that. That sounds super cool.
So yeah, I mean, LaVogue Barry, he's the owner and CEO of Boss Life Athletics. And I was doing a competition in 2018 and he was there. And I think him and I spoke a couple of times, and he ended up calling me a couple of days later, and he's like, I love what you showed off at the competition. You did great. And he like, on top of just the fact that I was repping well, he loved like my attitude and my demeanor. And he's like, I think you'd be a great addition to like our Boss Life Athletics calisthenics team. And we talked about it, and I was like, yeah, this would be a great fit. And he was like, all right, so right now you're going to be called like what's called like, you're not going to be like an official team member until you pass what we call the QUAL qualification.
Okay.
He listed off the routine to me, and I was like, okay. And he was like, all right, it's 5 muscle ups, 10 bar dips at the top of the muscle up, 10 pull-ups. Then it's 50 squats, 25 pull-ups, 50 push-ups, 25 pull-ups, 50 push-ups, 50 squats, then back to the 5 muscle ups, 10 bar dips, 10 pull-ups. Now those last 5 muscle ups, he allows you to kind of like, if I'm kipping or if I'm using a little bit of momentum, he allows that because he knows you're fried. But I think at that point in time, I want to see like what kind of fight you still have left in you at the end.
Oh my gosh.
And that's all done under 12 minutes. So he said that to me. I was like, whoa, I've never done anything like that. Nothing comparable. And I think it took me basically 3 years to train and get that routine. And I've tried it with him in front of me like 5 or 6 times until I finally got it this past year. But, I feel like up until 2020, I really didn't train for it the right way. Like I would do little parts of the routine, or I would try and get like my pull-ups quicker or my push-ups quicker. But I didn't really, I think I knew, but I didn't want to accept that like just training for the routine meant just doing the routine. And once I started just running the routine, I started consistently hitting it in like quicker times. Like I got it down to like 13 minutes. Then I was down at 12. And then I got it down to at one point where I had it down at 10:50 right before I hit it in front of him. And I did it in 11:51 maybe, but I still got it. But it was just over time, just, these things take time, and I was consistent. I didn't give up on it. I wasn't like, oh, this thing's too tough. I was like, all right, this is something I want. And like Lavogue's a great guy. He's got a phenomenal gym. He runs like a great gym. He's got a great team around him too. In terms of other calisthenics athletes, I was like, this is what I want to do. I was like, I just need to continue to hit this, and I'm eventually going to get it.
Nice.
Like it's eventually going to happen. I just kind of knew it. And I was like, every time I went there, I was like, all right, I'm just going to give it my best, and whatever my best is, that's okay. But as long as I like leave it all on the bar.
Right.
And I did that every time. And then finally this past, I think it was August, I went. This past August I went. I finally hit it, and I was like, finally. It was like all that hard work was finally like, checked off.
Nice. Congrats, dude. Congrats. That's sweet.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like little calisthenics teams that have branched off in the New York City area. And, they've all got requirements now. So it's like a thing. It's not like something specific to his gym, but they all have their own specific requirements in order to be like an official member of a certain team.
Yeah.
So
that's so sweet.
It's cool.
Dude.
I was so proud of myself for finally hitting it.
Nice. Now, would you do like that routine once a week, twice a week, until you got it? Or was it like you're doing this every day?
I did. I think leading up to it, this year, I think I was going to do it in like August. And he told me, he was like, can you come down a day in August and do this? And I was like, yeah. And I had just gotten back from Miami in like early July. So I had like a month to prepare for it. And I think my first time I ran it that month, I was like, what do I want to say? Maybe like 13 minutes. I was like, all right, I got some work to do. So I think I ran it. I would run it sometimes like 2 or 3 days in a row. If I'm feeling it, then I rest maybe for like a day or two, and then go back to run it for like 2 or 3 days in a row.
Nice.
And I would do the routine. I don't think I ever really did the routine more than twice a day. But there are sometimes I would do it once a day and just work on other things. I was like, all right, those last muscle ups at the end are really struggling. I'm like, now that I'm fatigued, let me just work on, I'm going to try and hit like 30 fatigue muscle ups. Just as quick as I can, just to work on really what it's like, what it's going to be like to get over that bar when I'm just drained, or, hitting some pull-ups when I'm just like gassed. Cause that's what it's going to be like. Your body's going to feel like a brick, and you still got to pull yourself up.
Totally.
So I do stuff like that to really work on what it's going to be like, dealing with all that lactic acid buildup at the time, and still trying to, work out and do the routine. So I did that, basically for the 4 weeks leading up to it. And it was the best shape I'd been in for the routine.
Wow.
Just hitting it almost every day. I feel like I took like a couple days rest from it, but I think, I was hitting it like 5 days a week.
That's impressive, dude.
Because I knew I wasn't going to be building up like any more strength, but I knew I needed that endurance to go hit the routine.
Totally.
I needed to be able to like go through that routine and just continue to do as much as I could, and I would be good.
Now, let me ask you this. If you had to do the routine right after this podcast here, would you be able to get it under 12 minutes?
I got under 12. Now that I've got under 12, I think it's going to be under 12 as long as I'm in like a very good shape.
Pretty good shape. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, I've been doing like that competition sort of train. So I'll be used to getting it with like, I'll be used to working out with like lactic acid building up.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be my best time. I think I would still be able to squeeze it in under the 12 though.
Nice. Yeah. Today I saw you hanging with the 45-pound kettlebell and doing, leg holds or straight leg.
Yes, I started a hang challenge. I just need to like get my grip strength up. So I'm like,
nice.
So this thing, it was like hang 7 minutes a day for 30 days. I was like, all right, I'm in.
Damn. That's
7 minutes is a long time. I don't do it all at once.
So long, dude.
But I don't realize I'm just hanging there. I was like, it's only been like 30 seconds. You're not doing anything. You're just hanging there.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Well, hey, the last question that I have for you, or the last part of what I want to discuss, was about like your eating. Like, what do you like to eat? What do you fuel your body with? Yeah, let's hear it.
So yeah, I mean, I'm basically like full on plant-based or vegan.
Nice,
and I was telling you earlier with like the exceptions, like I'll have like my fiance's mom, she'll make spanakopita, they're Greek. And, you know, I have it every so often. It's delicious too. And then I know like, you know, little desserts, if you're at like a party or something, or you're out at dinner and like you order like a brownie or some sort of cake, like I'm sure maybe some of them are made with like milk and eggs.
Right.
But if it's a piece of cake, I'm not like gonna freak out about it. But I never go out of my way to like go buy like meat or go buy dairy from the market and make stuff with that. So I feel like I have things with like maybe like eggs or milk in them every so often, maybe a few times a year, but everything else is all vegan. So
that's awesome.
I'll go through like a full day. I know like you got me started on that smoothie kick and the fruit kick, like how good fruit is. So now I have a massive fruit smoothie every day before work.
Nice, dude. That's sweet.
I always have it after my workout. And I think it's like the best post-workout thing to have. I have like a ton of berries in there. I have a ton of berries. I throw peanut butter in there to get some protein in.
Nice.
I throw oats in to get some extra carbs, and then a banana and some just like almond milk.
Nice, dude.
And it fuels me so well for like the day.
That's
honestly,
so
it's
awesome.
Like, yeah, it's great. It's honestly better than coffee. I still have a little bit I love coffee. I switched over to just decaf. I was like, there were some Sundays where I would have like coffee too late and I was not sleeping.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, come on. So I switched over to full on decaf. But you know, honestly, I feel like the smoothie wakes me up really well.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. That's so cool to hear.
I love it. It's so good. It tastes so, I could literally have it for every meal.
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
I love the taste.
Right. And
there's literally nothing better.
Yeah. Right. It's just like, it has so many different flavors and punches in it. It's just like, it really does hit it hits every spot. If I'm being honest, it really hits every spot.
Especially in the summer, you got like a hot summer day. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
It's the best. It's like having it's like when I used to have a milkshake on like a hot summer day. I'm like,
right.
Now it's 100 times better.
Right.
I don't feel bad afterwards, but it feels amazing.
Right.
It's delicious. Yeah.
Nice. What's like a typical dinner for you that you like to have?
Typical dinner. My go-to is always like rice and black beans.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Rice and beans. Oh, I see you always do the rice and beans too.
Yeah,
but I'll
it's
do
so
like,
good.
I do like fajita veggies in there.
Nice.
And some avocado, where I mash up the avocado, make it into like guac, and that's like such a go-to for me. I feel like I have that multiple times a week.
Oh, I can eat it every night. It's so good.
Yeah, I feel like dinners honestly a lot of times are a toss-up. My fiance made this thing last night, and it was like this spaghetti squash with tomatoes, and she made this cream sauce where she mixed together like this creamy like vegan cheese sauce where she mixed together like vegan Parmesan, cashews, and almond milk. And it was delicious. Wow, it was so good. And I threw some lentils in there to get some protein, but it was delicious.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
Like, I devoured it. So that's like a lunch. I usually try and have like some sort of rice with like some sort of bean or lentil, some potatoes. I feel like I'll always try and mix it up for dinner because there's so many different things I can do.
Right.
Lunch, I usually do I do 2 or 3 different things. So one of them is there's Do you guys have a Trader Joe's by you?
Yeah, actually, I love Trader Joe's.
Have you had those like vegan lentil wraps?
I gotta try. I'm not sure if I've seen them before. I gotta try
I feel
that.
like some Trader Joe's are like they're different.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
different things.
Well, it's like
But
the
there's
cost.
these like,
Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say these lentil wraps, and like they're delicious.
Yeah.
They're not super. I think they're like $7 each, so it's not super expensive, and it just saves me time for like meal prepping.
Right.
So sometimes I'll get like 3 or 4 of them for the week, and I just have those for lunch.
That's great, dude.
And it's amazing. They're quick and easy, and like they fill me up. So
Nice.
I'll do that. I'll do like a chickpea salad, or if I'm craving it, I'll just do like overnight oats with some fruit.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. That's
So
great.
those are my like go-to lunches.
Cool. Well, it's cool to have that you have your foundation set for your lunches and your dinners and stuff. That's really great.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. How do you feel? Do you feel pretty good?
Oh, I feel awesome. I remember full on like ditching. Like I remember when I first like ditched meat, I think is when I really started to notice a difference.
Yeah.
I started cutting it out like 2019. I think the pandemic came in 2020, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna start, doing as much plant-based as I can.
Yeah.
And then that's when I really started to feel like I was like feeling really good. And like a month later, I noticed like the difference. I feel like I recover really well now too.
Nice.
I know I still how important sleep is, but I feel like more now than ever, I'm able to get by on less sleep. I'm like, it's not like I'm not like, oh, I'm plant-based, I can sleep 5 hours tonight.
Right.
But I feel like, when I was in high school or college, if I didn't sleep well, like I was like nodding off in class or something like that.
Totally.
Or I was just out of it and so foggy. Now I can get like, if it happens, if I don't have a good night's sleep or I'm up super late, I'm still like pretty alert the next day. Like I'm still tired, but I'm alert. I'm there. And I feel like so much different than I used to. I feel in that aspect, I feel like when I work out, I can just, I can go longer. I don't necessarily feel like stronger, like where, I didn't feel like if I were to go like squat, I didn't feel like I could go squat so much more, but I felt like, running these longer routines. Ironically, when I went plant-based is when the first time I got that QUAL under 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
A few months later.
Yeah.
But I felt like routines like that, I was like, wow, I've got just like longer lasting energy where I'm not
you
like
have the endurance
bonking out like 6 or 7 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I know
so
I
cool.
really feel great on it.
That's so cool to hear, dude. Awesome, man. Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone out there who's maybe like trying to get into calisthenics or they're struggling? Do you have anything to say to them?
What I would say, just it's so hard. I feel like there's so many pieces of advice. I think I'm gonna think of the biggest ones that work for me. So I know everyone says it, but be consistent.
Totally.
You find something that works for you and stick to that plan. Because I know when I first started, I saw like so many different things that I could do. I could do like a lever, or I could start doing muscle ups, or like one-arm pull-ups, or like 20 pull-ups, different things like that. And I was like, I'm gonna do it all and put it all in one thing. Just find like a couple things, like do some basic stuff and just get used to it for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And it's gonna be a process. Like you got to understand that it's gonna be a process, and you're not gonna have like magical gains overnight where all of a sudden like you're working pull-ups one week and then all of a sudden you're hitting like 20 muscle ups the next week. Nice. Like it's taken me years to get where I am. And I know even the guys who just blow me out of the water, these guys were hitting 50 pull-ups, like 25 muscle ups. They'll even tell you like it took them years to get where they are by just drilling the same thing over and over again. So don't be discouraged if like, it's tough. Calisthenics is tough in the sense where you don't necessarily see the gains like you would in the weight room. Like, oh, I benched 200 today, I'm benching 205 next week.
Yeah. Totally.
Like, sometimes it's hard to see, but just stay consistent. You're going to see over time, you're going to eventually, hit your goals. But like I said, stay consistent and then pick a few things that work for you. Don't overcomplicate it with like a million different things.
Right.
Pick a few moves that you really want to work on, drill them hard, work out with some intensity, and then give yourself time to recover.
Awesome, dude.
And then build in time for these workouts. I know a lot of things people say is like, I don't have time, but if you can, I'm sure there are people who generally like just do not have time. Like I'm thinking of like, a single mother who's got like 3 kids, she's working 3 jobs. Like, like there's legitimately people out there who just do not have the time sometimes. But I think for the vast majority of us, a lot of us can truly work in like half an hour into our schedules to get some movement in.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Whether it's 2, 3, 4 times a week.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy when you make the time, because I think there's days where you're like, wow, that wasn't that much time, and I have so much other time left. And you took what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? It's nothing. We spend so much time on our phones go in the bathroom. It's like
oh, that's screen time app, man. That scares me sometimes. I was
right.
Like, what did I do this week?
Right.
But I think like, thinking back to what I do, like I make the time for myself in the morning. There's no chance I would be able to try and do this in the afternoon. Like sometimes you got to get up a little earlier and do something, or whatever it might be. Or if you're a night person, maybe you stay up a little later than you would to get like your workout in, but you can make that time for yourself for the most part. There are some exceptions, obviously, and everyone's life is different. Like, I don't know what everyone's going through, but do your best to make your own to work around your schedule to fit in some time for you, because prioritizing you, it shouldn't be like this selfish thing, or it shouldn't be this thing that's like looked down upon. Like, prioritize yourself, because then you can go out there and help everyone else. You can be better for the people around you. Right. So don't be afraid to like take some time for yourself.
100%, dude. 100%, man. That was awesome, dude. That's a great way to end it right there, man. You did awesome. It was great hearing your thoughts and some of your story, man. So super cool, super awesome. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Man. Yeah. So cool. Hey, we're going to end it right there, man. So once again, thank you so much. And to everyone else out there, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode with Alex from ASL Fitness. That's his Instagram account. Go give him a follow. Go check him out. He's awesome. He's awesome, as you guys clearly saw today. So anyways, stay up, be great. Always keep it 100, baby. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for having me.